I wonder what you think of when you think about worship. Tell me your mind doesn't go to music or singing in church. Well, that is worship. It's certainly part of our worship. But that barely touches the surface of what the Bible talks about when it mentions worship. Romans 12, 1-2 says this: "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." It's great that this talks about both body in verse 1 and mind in verse 2. So worship is about both body and mind. I want to draw briefly on three things, the first being this: worship is for God. First, we need to know that it's not about us, not about what I feel or what I get out of it. It's not a matter of a time or place. It's a question of knowing God and living in truth, and therefore something that is done irrespective of how we are feeling. The Bible talks about praising God in the highs, but also running to God in the lows. It's all about Him, for Him, and towards Him. My second point: worship is whole life living. It's not just about church services and music, though that is part of it. It's about 24/7, wholehearted, obedient lifestyle in honour of God. Romans 12:1 says this: "To offer our bodies as living sacrifices." It's about recognising the way we live and shape our whole lives. Our bodies and actions should reflect and be consistent with the faith we profess in Jesus. But it concerns both body and mind. We worship God with our minds too. The different ways we think, things that aren't seen outwardly, but God knows that they are there. So worship is both inward and outward. It is all of life, whole life living. My third point is this: worship is a choice. It's important to remember and recognise that worship is a choice. The way we live our lives is a choice or free will. It's not a choice of style or of which songs and style you like and dislike, but a choice to worship God or not, with both body and mind. The choice to honour Him with our bodies and honour Him with our minds, or the choice not to do that. Remember, worship is about the heart, our heart for God. It's a choice to be real or unreal, genuine or fake. So I'm just going to say these last 3 points. Worship is about God, not about us and our feelings. Worship is whole life living. It concerns body and mind. And worship is a choice, not of style or preference, but the choice to worship or not. So the question remains: will you choose to worship and honour God with your whole life?